Felicia
From the
Michaels,
moment
my
you hear his
princess,
voice, you
has
know
been entertaining
there are
audiences
problems.
with a unique
Joey
style
Coco Diaz has
of
been rocking
provocative humor
comedy
since the
stages for
90s, all right?
15 years.
With her
You've seen him in
tongue-in-cheek,
films and
she's been
television,
exploring
but
such
his
topics
real
as the
patois,
dynamics
as
of
he's
the
fond of saying,
male-female
are the
relationships,
stories from
or
his
as we call
past
them here in
and
the
his
studio,
chaotic
dirty
views on
thoughts,
life that will make
and
this
the
podcast
proliferation
a different
of the
beast.
sensual
Raw
feminist.
pain and
She's a little
passion is how to
firecracker
really
rolled up, and that's why I
describe
love
this
her, and that's why you're going to
Cuban-born,
love listening. So
New
tune in, all right?
Jersey animal. We're on, by the way.
Greetings to all you...
Hold on. You're always so quick.
Greetings to all you podcasters out there.
We better do it again because I touched something.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, go for it.
Greetings to all you...
One more. No, I'm just fucking with you.
Greetings to all you podcasters out there in Podcastville. We're here. We're back. Beauty and the Beast. Felicia Michaels.
Joey Diaz.
What's up, you sexy,
Oh
sexy
my God,
animal?
your sweatshirt is the color of your eyes.
Would you stop with
It
that
just
shit?
really brings out the little gray speckles in your brown Cuban eyes.
And the gray speckles on my hair, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I didn't want to go there.
Fuck it, who cares?
How you doing?
You know me then. Ready for another week. Thanksgiving was great.
Thanksgiving was awesome.
Awesome. My anniversary was great. I had a great time with Terry, so that's always...
Yes, my birthday.
That's right.
Yeah.
How was it? You have a good time?
It was fun, yeah. That was really funny when you got up on the table and you danced, and then your pants fell down.
You like that, huh?
So
and your
funny.
kid almost fucking puked.
I know. From laughing at the Cuban egg roll.
Don't be laughing at the Cuban egg roll, all right? Right away. It's gotten laughed at enough. But yeah, we're here. Now that's it. We're in prime time Christmas season.
I know.
Get your gifts ready, people. We don't want nothing from you people. We're going to give you a sensational Christmas present December 8th at the Brea Improv.
Yes, that's going to be a lot of fun. And who is it sponsored by?
Adam and Eve and a bunch of other people.
Yes.
That we'll decide as time comes. But the most important thing is the Beauty and the Beast at the Brea Improv, December 8th. Myself, Felicia Michaels, and other little young comedians we've got scheduled.
Some little hot, yummy pieces of goodness.
That's right. So December 8th, get your tickets now, 714-482-0700.
Oh, my God. I love when you memorize. When you memorize, it turns me on. Memorize again for me, Joe.
No.
Memorize again for me.
714-482-0700.
Oh, my God.
You know, I don't even memorize this shit. I'm just really good with numbers since I was a
Really?
kid. Yeah, my mother was into numbers. We were a bookmaking operation.
Oh, yeah,
So
I thought you are.
I was always into numbers growing up. My mom would ask me quick math questions and shit.
Yeah.
I have a friend that says, don't repeat your American Express number in front of Joey because they remember the numbers, and I fucking will.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I will. I can remember all that. I'm good with numbers, bitch.
That's funny, Joey.
For years,
really
I had the
funny.
American Express number to Joe Chadwick in Miami Improv. And I would just get a plane ticket whenever I wanted. He'd call me and say, how the fuck did you get this plane ticket without my approval? What, are you crazy? You approved it 2 weeks ago, remember? Oh, yeah, that's right. And that was the end of that. We got some great emails again this week. And one of the emails I want to really talk about was a 23-year-old emailed us from Vegas. And he was talking about that, you know, he had some problems, that he enjoyed listening to the podcast, that, you know, it was positive, and he learned a couple things from him, but that his main thing was like gambling, you know, and that's weird because in my beginning of my criminal career, I was into gambling, and it's so weird because I had to pick a vice, you know, because when you lose, I only gambled because you get paid on Thursdays, but if you lose, you have to pay on Thursday. So if you win, you pick up money for the weekend. If you lose, you got to hide out for the weekend. You follow me? And it's funny because the night I tried to mug the fag, and he beat me up. That was over at gambling.
Can I say one thing?
What?
It makes me uncomfortable when you say that word.
Well, fag.
Yeah.
When I mugged the gay guy. Well, it was 1982, so it was fags then.
Okay.
That's the only reason why I say
So you're
fag.
saying that like in historical context?
Yes, in historical context. I'm keeping it true to the story. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
well, I have to bring it up. Otherwise, people think I'm a patsy, that I'm Robin Givens over here. Like,
No,
oh, that's so funny.
no. But
With
that's...
your African-American jokes, Howard?
No. But no, it's so weird how that was one of the first things I got into. And what happened was, like, I like sports gambling. I really liked it, but basketball's every day, football's on the weekends. And people would say to me, stop gambling because you've never seen a bookie with a part-time job. Bookies don't lose.
Right.
You know, that's why I love these people. I went to Vegas and won $50,000. No, you didn't, stupid. You know what I'm saying? You might have won this time, but they're going to get you for $75 the next time.
Right, exactly.
They're not in business to lose.
Yeah.
They're not running a fucking charity.
Yeah.
But it was so weird. Like, I gambled from probably my senior year in high school till about 82 or 83, loosely. And the shit I had to come up with, like the time I robbed a jewelry store, that was for money for the bookmaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because my teacher was the bookie.
Right.
So we had to pay him back the money. He's like a good friend of mine. What am I going to do? I don't have your money.
Teacher was the bookie. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Your
so
teacher
that was
the bookie.
another gambling thing I had to take care of.
Which teacher? Was it the gym teacher?
Yeah, Mr. McGrath, the Camel Breath.
Did he make you do extra sit-ups? Or
No, he was good. He was a freshman
give
running
you a bad
back
grade
coach
on
and
the
stuff.
presidential fitness test?
No, he was cool like that, but it was so funny that...
That's weird that he would make you take the presidential fitness test and then also take bets for you.
Fuck it. You know how they do it? You know what I'm saying? You got to do something. One minute you're doing jumping jacks, the next minute you're jumping up and down for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. Just another day. But it's just so crazy how in 83 I really got into gambling. And it was funny because that's when I got beat up by the gay guy. And it was, I had this roommate, Fernie Bassasudo, who was just a dynamite kid. I never really talk about him because Fernie lost it 20 years ago. We've never spoken. None of us speak to Fernie. He's a cook in Hoboken now or something. But, I mean, this hit him. Like I always told you, everybody has their Vietnam.
Right.
This was a kid that he asked us, like when he was 19, hey, you guys are always gambling, What the fuck do you gamble for? How do you win? And we told him, and he goes, all right, I want to put a bet in. His first bet was 1,000-time parlay. 100-time parlay, which 10-time parlay. A parlay is when you have to pick two teams.
Right.
So you have to pick like the Jets and the Celtics to win, or the
Okay.
Jets and another football team. And so his first bet.
Because I was like Jets and Celtics,
Yeah,
but that's not the
Jets,
same
Jets,
sports.
and let's say you have to met Jets and the Giants. That's a
Okay,
parlay.
okay.
So they both have to win. They both have to cover the spread.
Okay.
So one Saturday night he was at a bar with us talking, and right there he looked at the paper and he goes, "I got my two picks. Now a 10-time parlay is 60 to lose, 140 to win. All right.
So he won.
So he won. So it's times 10. So if he would have lost, he would have lost 600. Since he won 1,400. Right?
Wow.
So his
Wow.
first bet,
Yeah.
his first fucking bet
That's how it gets you.
was like the Jets
Yeah.
against somebody and Seattle against Pittsburgh or something. The Jets won outright. And Seattle was losing 27-0 at halftime. He said, fuck it, I lost 600. I'm going to sleep. He went to sleep and he had a dream that Seattle came back and won. And when he woke up, Seattle did come back and won.
Oh, really?
28-27. They were
yeah.
getting 3 points. So I'll never forget. We went right to the book. The bookie called him and said, hey, you won your first bet, 1,400. That's how they get you.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, no shit. He goes, if you want, come pick up the money. We went down to Jersey City. We picked up the 1,400. And he goes, let's go eat any way we want. And he was Puerto Rican. He had never been to a restaurant, really.
Right.
His parents had a restaurant, but he wasn't. We went to a high stakes restaurant. We went to a place, Piccolissimo, Fort Lee, with white people and flowers and mandolins. And they had this dish on Monday nights called Lobster Fra Diablo, which I used to go every Monday. $14.95, 2 lobster tails and a Betty linguine, clams, mussels, shrimp. Fucking tremendous. So he goes, I'm going to go eat what you guys usually eat on Mondays. Let's go. So we went up there and we ordered this thing. I'll never forget, they brought a finger bowl for us.
A finger bowl.
And this motherfucker, I've never been to a fancy restaurant. He drank the finger bowl.
He did,
they put water in it, and he's like, this club soda is delicious. And he drank the finger bowl. But that was like December. We kept betting. Me and him were roommates, and we kept betting. And it came Super Bowl weekend, and he was up $25,000 cash
Shut up.
under his bed.
Really?
He had $24,000 under his bed cash, and he had like 11 in the air, which meant that he had 11,000 scattered to other bookies. And he told them, hold off. Don't pay me the 11 grand because I'm going to bet the Super Bowl. And I forget what the Super Bowl was. It was 83. It was the Oakland Raiders against the Redskins when Lawrence, whatever his name is, Martin, whatever, the running back that was fucking OJ's wife, went bananas and the Raiders won. And he lost. He had the Redskins. He lost everything. The 24 under his bed.
Oh, really?
The 11 he had with the bookies. 20 more that he put in with the bookies. And 20 more that he put on the street. That people would call up and say, I like this. And he'd sit on it.
Yeah.
So like a man, he went and he
Wow.
he paid. He went to his father. His father took a loan out. He paid the bank. He paid the bookie.
Wow.
He paid some of his friends, and the other friends. He said, "I can't pay you." He was a man about it, and I'll never forget. He got a job in March. He would work in a gas station from 4 to 12, and then at his father's restaurant from 4 in the morning to. I mean, it was just amazing. From 6 in the morning to 2 at his father's restaurant, and then he would work from 4 to 12 pumping gas. And the whole summer he did that, and he paid back all his debts. He paid the school loan. He ended up buying a car, but he never talked to us again because he felt that we had let him down. Like, I don't know why, in that retarded way of gambler's mind.
Yeah.
But he never put a bet in again. He never, ever watched sports again. and he kind of like it fucking affected him for the
Oh,
rest of his
yeah,
life.
I'm sure.
And it was so weird that
Did
I
he get
learned.
threatened?
Oh yeah, they threatened
Oh,
him
yeah,
and shit.
so-
But no, there was not a threat. He was like a man about it, and he paid. But it was so weird how that was the last time I really, really, really put in a bet. Like since that 83, I think I put in 3 bets, you know, like 2 UFCs and 1
Right.
football one or something. But it's just amazing that I learned at an early age that it's just, I had to pick. I had to pick a
Yeah.
vice. My thing was this. If you lose $200, you just give it to a bookie and he takes it, he shakes your hand, and that's it. At least if I buy $200 worth of Coke, I'll get paranoid, get dead dick, and look out a window. You know what I'm saying? So I took plan B. That's why I don't gamble, because I didn't like losing. Nobody likes
Right.
losing. And if you lose, you just give somebody money.
Yeah,
There's no
looking out a
side
window
kick.
with dead dick is
Yeah,
definitely
I'd
not
rather
losing.
I'd rather get dead dick, look out a window, and be fucking broke. But at least I did it, than
Right.
have somebody else control my money. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
very true. Yeah.
And that's why I didn't like the gambling part of it. And if you're hooked on the gambling, you know what I'm saying? Like there's things to do to get off it. But the most important thing that you have to keep in the back of your mind, it's it's so weird because it's any addiction. Any addiction you may have,
absolutely,
you see
yeah.
right through it, whether it's
Yeah.
smoking cigarettes. You know, for 20 years I did coke. For the last 20 years, and I kept saying, I hate it. It does nothing for you. I hate the feeling. Well, why do you keep going over there and buying it then, you fuck? Because old habits die hard. The same thing with cigarettes. And gambling, like I said, gambling I let go because it was either plan A or plan B.
Right.
I can't do both of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think you can get addicted to anything. And by the way, seems like a completely different subject, but I have a couple of guy friends who fuck all these chicks all the time, and I keep saying to him, because it's actually one person, you better be careful because you're going to get in the habit of fucking a lot of different pussy, and then the one person that's the exact correct person for you, you're going to fuck it up because you have this habit. Look, that's him calling me right now. Saying, what the fuck are you squealing on me for? You know who I'm talking about? He knows too. I'm going to tell him.
Well, the thing is that...
But it's true. It's all habits. It's all habits. You get in a habit of doing, it could be gambling, drinking, drugs, putting your dick into anything moist. And it's all a habit. I mean, some are good habits.
Like, it's so weird when you... Like, I'm addicted. I was addicted to blow, and I still smoke weed, and I was addicted to... action and everything. And it's so weird. What's funny is when somebody else is addicted to something, you can't figure out why the fuck they're addicted to it. Like when people say to me, I'm addicted to sex, I never understood that. I never fucking understood that.
Well, it's that same feeling. Am I going to get some? Am I not going to get some? Am I going to get some? Is it going to go good for me? It's like...
So do you have anxiety if you don't fuck somebody?
Well, because it's the habit of, it's the feeling of, I got to have something. Can I get it? Can I get it? You know what I mean?
I have 3 friends.
I would assume so.
That are the slimiest, and I love them dearly.
Thank you, Joey.
No. I love them dearly. I mean, I've known them for years, and I met them all out here. But I've never seen guys like these 3 guys that are addicted to pussy. And they constantly making passes at girls, and it's cheesy fucking passes. But and I figured out, I go, what they do is, if you hit on 10 girls a day, you're going to fuck one of them.
Oh, absolutely.
But they hit on everybody from the minute. And 2 of them have living wives and girlfriends.
And I bet they don't even look like guys that could even pull any pussy down. That's the ridiculous
part of it. And it's like something that it embarrasses me because they're so cheesy about it. I've never been that cheesy. I just tell a woman what's going on, and 9 out of 10 she's not going to like me anyway. But I tell them, and you move on with your fucking life. These guys, like the other day I went to Starbucks, he's hitting at the girl at the fucking register. And it's so creepy. It's so creepy to me. Like, really, guy? It's 10 in the morning, you're hitting on this fucking girl already? But then on the outside, he's telling you how he can't get his life together. He needs to find a good woman. And you're like, what the fuck, guy?
No, exactly.
I have another buddy who his whole comedy is around woman. He got a niche to going on the road, and boy, when he fucks a girl at one club, he will call that club till the guy hangs up on him.
Oh, really?
Like if he fucks a girl at a club as a feature act, he will get back there as soon as possible. Like, I gotta get back there. And you're like, bro, are you serious? You were just there 2 weeks ago. I know, but I just gotta get back there. And it's like, you fuck women all over.
Yeah.
But he thinks that if he, like, it's so weird. To him, every club is like a drug dealer that would give me free coke.
Really?
Like, that's how I look at it. Like, he has to get back there.
Yeah.
Even though he's got women here and there, that one broad that week, that club, because he got pussy there. If I got 2 pieces of pussy in 5 days, if I stay for 10 days, I get 4. That's his mentality. And I've never, ever, ever figured out being that cheesy.
Well, maybe they just can't help themselves. Maybe it's just like they just got a lot of testosterone and they just got to spread it.
I got a lot of fucking testosterone. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of testosterone growing up. When you get coked up, you wake up in the morning, you got a lot of testosterone in your nutsack because you did all that shit when you got yourself wound up and there was nobody to fuck, or you got dead dick and you wake up. But that never made me be cheesy. Do you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, it never really made me be cheesy.
Really? You've never?
Yeah.
Come on. What's the cheesiest thing you've ever said to a woman? Come
I
on,
don't-
be honest. I'm not
I
gonna
don't
buy
know
this. There
because
has
I
to be
don't.
something.
I've never been that cheesy.
Really?
I've never really been that cheesy. I never saw the, like, really, like, all this for a piece of fucking pussy.
So did you pick up on women, or do mostly women made advances to you?
I pick up on, you talk to a woman. I don't know nothing about picking up women. Like, I was never good, like, going to a club and saying, tonight I'm going to get laid. My first goal was to get fucked up.
Yeah.
Laid was second. You know what I'm saying? My first goal growing up was to get fucked up.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing about getting laid. And if you got laid along the way, that's fucking great. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, that's
Yeah.
tremendous.
Wow, that's a big reveal.
What's that?
That you'd rather get fucked up than get laid.
Yeah, at that time I was out with my buddies and shit. When you're doing blow and you bring a girl back to your thing, before you fuck her the first time, you have to hear 20 hours of conversation. 26 if you're on blow, about her family, her upbringing, and all. And you don't want to hear that. You just want a piece
What's
of
wrong
pussy.
with that, Joey?
I don't want to hear that shit. That's conversation when we're not doing blow. That's when we're at a restaurant with people and you got to talk. When we're getting ready to do blow, I don't want to hear about my father beat me. That just shut
Well,
the
what
fuck
do you
up.
want to hear about when you're doing blow with a chick? What do you want the chick to talk about?
I want her to talk about that maybe her ass is like a sparkler. If I light it on fire, it'll sparkle or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
And why would a girl do that if you're sitting there with dead dick?
I don't know. Maybe she don't know I have dead dick.
Well,
maybe the
come
coke
on.
doesn't give her
If a
psychic
girl's in a room
abilities.
doing coke with someone and she starts chatting away, she knows you have dead dick.
No, not really. A lot of guys do well on coke.
You think?
Yeah, a lot of guys could fuck on coke. I was one of those people that I could fuck like the first 2 or 3 lines. After that, it wasn't even my vocabulary. After the coke ran out, that's when I was good in bed.
Yeah.
Once there was still coke, I don't want to fuck you. There's still coke on the table. You know what I'm saying? We're going to start moving shit. Coke's going to fall all over the place. I don't need this shit. You know what I'm saying? I would even give girls aspirin. Like, if, let's say we're doing coke and this chick
Right.
is talking and I see that there's no blowjob in the future.
Right.
Like, sometimes after you do 2 lines, they mention they have a boyfriend, there's no blowjob in the future. That bitch ain't getting my coke. I'll go in that bathroom, I'll take 4 bare aspirins, they're like a gram a piece. I'll come out with another package. At 2 a.m, girls don't know what's what anyway. You just give them little bumps, they're having a great time. I swear to fucking God. I swear to God. A couple of years ago, I was doing a movie, and we were out at a bar afterward, and there was no blow in this town, and this little young hoopster came up to me. This has got to be 7, 8 years ago.
Hoopster.
Like a little girl, and while she's drinking the beer, she would take the beer in front of me and down the neck like she was giving a blowjob. And I'm sitting there, I'm not
Really?
drinking. Yeah, and I'm like, this fucking chick doesn't have any idea. You know what I'm saying?
She should meet up with your friend from Starbucks.
Yeah, right? So she's drinking, but in front of me, she would down the bottle like she was sucking a dick.
Right.
And she was a little older, and she said she had met me at a party in Arizona. And we were in New Mexico doing
Was the
comedy.
back of her throat itching and she just wanted to kill 2 birds
This is
with one
fucking
stone?
crazy. I'll never, ever forget this. And I'll never forget that she came up to me. She's like, oh, my God, we got to get out of here. And I'm like, really? With me? And she's like, we have to get out of here. Let's go get some blow. And I'm like, can you get some? And she's like, no. And she goes, but you could get some. She goes, I'm dying to get some blow and get laid. And I'm like, oh, we're going to get some.
Right.
And I took her back to the hotel, and I played it off perfectly. I went up to my room, and I'm like, listen, I just made a call. I called Noriega. He's on his way with the package. And I go, I got to take a piss. I went in the bathroom, and I grinded up aspirin. Because I take aspirin for my heart. You know, they have
Yeah.
that regimen.
Right.
Now I have the little cherry-flavored little ones, but then I had the big bear
Right.
aspirin. So I'm crushing up the aspirin, and I put it in like notebook paper, and I had my phone on vibrate. And all of a sudden I took it out like she was calling me. I go, you downstairs? I'll be right back. And she's sitting there drinking my fucking booze from the little refrigerator.
Right.
And I go down. I don't even go downstairs. I just go in the hallway, and I make believe, and I come back, and I'm like, let's do it. And I take out this aspirin. And I remember I put like some coke on the table, like it was, and I did like a line, like I made believe and hit it. And when she wasn't looking, I laid 2 big lines for her. This is a true story. I don't care whether you believe me or not. This bitch did those 2 lines and 10 more after that. She kept saying to me, my God, this coke is so good. But here's where it gets tricky. She was humping the thing, like she was grinding, like it was a placebo of
She was
coke.
grinding the table?
She was grinding her chair like she was like, this coke is getting me
really?
so horny. And I'm sitting there fucking laughing. If this bitch only knew I got this at fucking CVS. You know what I'm saying? The best coke is at CVS.
Yeah.
The chick did all that aspirin. All that aspirin. She did it all by herself. She was doing lines like fucking Tony Montana and Scarface. And I'm sitting, she's like, don't you want them? I'm like, oh no, I got fucked up already. And we didn't have a condom and shit. I think she blew me like 8 times in the night, and I gave her like $20 to take a cab the next morning. But I always remember, I remember telling those guys, how'd you lure her back to your room? She was so cute. I go, bro, I told her I had coke. They're like, did you? You held down us? I go, no, I gave her aspirin. They're like, oh, shit. That is genius.
Wow.
I've been doing that shit for years. And if you're really creative, you get aspirin, you put a little Anbesol on it. You put it in the freezer. It freezes up and shit. Then when they taste it, they get a numbie.
Oh, yeah.
That's on my old school. And we lose yourself coke
Did
to
you
the
learn
college
that from
kids.
the gym teacher?
No, I learned that from my buddy in college. My buddy in high school, he used to go to Rutgers, and he would sell coke to the kids at Rutgers. And we cut it with aspirin and put a little Anbesol on it. The kids were like, man, this shit is numbing. No shit. There's a bottle of Anbesol in there. You're going to be numb till Sunday, you dumb fuck. I went back to Weight Watchers today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I had to because I wanted just to get back in the meetings. You start listening. All this last week, I've been sticking the points. For Thanksgiving, I stuck the points. I only had 2 little pieces of turkey and 1 piece of fucking pumpkin pie, which I could devour a whole pumpkin pie and then some solo. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, so.
That's it?
No, that's it. So if you have a chance, people, I know we get a lot of emails. Well, I get a lot of emails about thank you for the weight loss. I've lost 35 pounds. My friend in England, the fucking Italian, lost 30 pounds. I mean, all these Gaspari, all these people have been losing weight. But if you look at yourself, you need to lose a little bit more weight. Like, I need to drop another fucking 50 pounds again. Like, now I'm getting serious.
50
I want to go down to 2.25, maybe 210, 215. Sure. I want to look like Charles Bronson, how he did in the movie The Mechanic. That is my goal. 51 years old, 1973, Charles Bronson, The Mechanic, which they did a remake of. And somebody emailed me the trailer. I wouldn't even look at the fucking trailer.
Who's in the remake?
The new one, who do you think? John Strahan and some fucking Englishman.
Jason?
Yeah, Jason Strahan, whom I love, but he ain't no fucking Charles Bronson. They should have never remade that goddamn movie.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. I would not remade it with him. I would have remade that movie with somebody like Richard Gere. And some,
Really?
Yeah.
Richard Gere?
And somebody, a good-looking young kid. Yeah.
No.
Charles Bronson was no
Richard
fucking
Gere.
Mr. America pageant either. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know, but come on. That's not even close to
Have you seen Richard Gere lately? He's as old as a motherfucker. Watch that new movie about the New York cops. He's in there. I went to see that just because of him with Wesley Snipes, and him and that chick is in there. The chick that was in Frankie, not the one that, I forget what her
Terry
name is.
Hatcher?
No, she looks like she got hit with a bat too. But wait till you see Richard Gere. He's not the same Richard Gere he used to be. And Charles Bronson in that was an older gentleman. He's supposed to be an older
I know,
hitman.
But Charles Bronson has such a gritty presence about him. Richard Gere is not very gritty.
Well, who would have gritty presence today to do something like that? What actor could play Charles Bronson? Nobody. Basically nobody. Who could fucking play Charles Bronson? Tom Selleck?
Shut up, Tom Selleck. What?
Who the fuck is going to do
Selleck,
Who the
yeah.
fuck is going to do a Charles Bronson thing? I mean, I tell you who might be able to pull it up, but he's too young. The movie Shooter was what do they call it? Homage to Charles Bronson. What's when somebody does a dedication to you?
Homage?
Homage to Charles Bronson. But it wasn't really through Marky Wahlberg. It was through the director, the black dude, the one who was supposed to direct American Gangster, and then they replaced him. Whatever his name, I forget what his fucking name was. That guy's a big Charles Bronson fan. But for them to remake The Mechanic, it's eating away at me.
Yeah.
Jan Michael Vincent was The Mechanic, one of the best looking men of all time until he met vodka tonics. Then it all went down the tubes.
That's what happens, unfortunately.
So my first choice for The Mechanic was Richard Gere, and ready for this one? Wilmer Villarama. Get a little fucking Puerto Rican in there to rock this fucking role, because it's a young, good-looking guy that doesn't look like a hitman. Both of these guys do not look like hitmen. That's what they're not supposed to look like. It's not supposed to be an action movie. The first scene of The Mechanic, if a lot of people never seen it, it shows Charles Bronson doing a hit, but a beautiful hit. He goes into the guy's medical records, and he finds out that the guy has a heart condition. So when the guy's playing golf or whatever the fuck he's doing, he sets off little explosions to make the guy run. The guy dies of a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? That's how you kill somebody, no bullets. The first scene of the Mechanic is a brilliant scene. It's on YouTube. It's a 30 fucking minute scene. You're sitting there going, Jesus, when is this going to end? He watches the guy leave an apartment. He goes into the apartment. He glues a bomb in the guy's book. He puts sleeping pills in his tea. It was fucking perfect. Guy comes home, gets the tea, puts it on, falls asleep. The gas is on. The explosive is in the bookshelf. Charles Bronson's across the street, and he shoots the book. The book blows up. The whole building blows up. People think it's some fucking stupid fire. That's how you kill somebody. You follow me?
The cigarette smoking during that story certainly added the effect.
Sure, you know what I'm saying? It's that's That's the whole thing. It's explosives. That's the
That's
smoke.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Cigarettes and other things that we're smoking here today on Beauty and the Beast podcast. How we do it. No, my movie came out
Oh, yes. tell us
yesterday.
about that.
The Dog That Saved Christmas Vacation. It's a kid's movie, you know. I went to see it with a bunch of kids, and I looked at it and I wanted to shoot myself, but it's
You
a
gotta
movie.
stop that, Joey.
But you know what's crazy? While I sat there in the movie theater. I'm like, I can't believe I did this movie. I'm sitting there next to my wife, a bunch of kids behind me, and they're giggling. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this movie, and I'm thinking to myself, when I first came from Cuba, and I would go to the movies and I would see, like the first time I seen Dirty Harry, or the first time I seen the one with Charles Bronson and James Coburn, when they fight Hard Times. The first time I seen Hard Times, I remember looking up at that screen and thinking to myself, that's what I want to do. I want to do movies. And I remember leaving like every movie for 20 years going, fuck, fuck, that's the movie I want to be in, And then when I remember like seeing Goodfellas and going, this is it. I just got out of prison. I read the book in prison and reading Goodfellas and going, fuck, why wasn't I in that movie? If I could just figure out how to get the movies.
Right.
And here I am sitting in this fucking movie. And it's not 2 lines, it's a whole movie. This was my dream 20 years ago.
Right.
And I'm sitting there kind of bummed out. And then it came to me, I'm like, this is what I talk about. This is what we stress in the podcast, that to be happy with the accomplishments that you've made. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, so what? I got $6 in the bank. But here I am in this fucking movie. This was a dream.
Right.
This was a dream.
No, you know what? But that's symptomatic of things that a lot of people do. Like when they have something that's given to them in a great experience, they always want to pick out, well, maybe some other people will think it's not that great, or it's a kid's movie, or it's this.
That's
or
what I was
that.
doing, Felicia.
I know,
You're absolutely
and
right.
Like, and like everyone does that, I think, about themselves. And sometimes you got to go, wait a minute. You know what? As a mom who had little children, what a relief to take your kids to the movies, so that they can enjoy it. And you're sitting there and you enjoy it because they enjoy it. And like you brought joy to those kids, like, and you're in a movie, and you got to just think, yeah, that's gonna get me this. I worked on that, and now people know I can work, and I'm gonna do this.
It's amazing because of that movie. I came home last week and I started writing my goals again. When a lot of people always email me, like, how'd you get your life together? I worked at Boulder Toyota with a guy named Jim Handy, and Jim Handy and me are still dear friends till this fucking day, 1987, because of that job. And the one thing he taught me from that job, every morning when I come in, he'd go, Coco, how many cars are you going to sell this month? And I go, 10, that's my goal. And he goes, don't tell me that. Tell me how you're going to do it. Write me how you're going to do it. And he would say, do that every week. And I would do that every week. When I first started comedy, you remember that newspaper that used to come out of San Francisco, Just for Laughs?
Right.
In the back of that, they had all these clubs, a club index. And I remember sitting there and circling these clubs. Like someday I'm going to perform at the Seattle Underground. And one day I'm going to be at, the Punchline in Sacramento.
Right.
And these are goals, people. And if we get a lot of emails here about people who've gone through the same things as us. And that's why we always get second chances, Michael Vick and all this shit. And people always say, what's my first step? Your first step is to sit down and see what the fuck you really want to do. What you really want to do. Don't be ashamed if somebody else don't want it. Like if you want to sell flowers or something, but you think your friends will say you're gay. Who gives a fuck as long as you're happy?
Right.
But how are you going to do it every month? I do that still. I'm going to do 3 guest stars this month. Then I'm like, what the fuck? How am I going to get that? What do I have to do to get that every month?
Right.
I got to pay attention. I got to shine my shoes. I can't smoke dope before an audition. Little things that it's so weird by watching that sometimes. People, your life passes right in front of you sometimes. Like, I can't even imagine you. Like, 20 years ago, you were at a strip club dancing for some fucking fat guy that had beer breath and had, and you're sitting there and you had a dream while you were shaking your ass. You were like, this is the last strip club. This is the last dance I'm going to do, or something. I
would dream that guy had a 20 in his pocket and he's going to give it to me.
A 20? Fuck that
so
shit.
I can get out of this strip club. That's what I was thinking.
But it's just so weird how your life passes. We get all these emails from kids that are 23, 24, 26. And one minute you're 26, the next minute you're fucking 46. And you said to yourself, how did I get here? Right. And then you hear that Talking Head song, what I'm saying? Who is this lady in front of me? It's real. That song is so fucking real.
I know.
Whenever I hear that song, I pull over and I'm like, same as it ever was. I'm still broke, but how did we get here? I got a beautiful wife and a beautiful car, and all that. How did I get here?
That song is played a lot, usually right before you divorce someone or leave someone.
Or commit suicide. As you're writing your note, you're fucking listening to that song and shit.
Jesus.
But it's just so weird how, I sat there, Felicia, and I was like, this is bullshit. What have I done with my life? I should have been a fucking Marine. And I'm like, what am I talking about? 30 years ago, 20, I would hawk people. Like, do you have anybody, you know anybody in Hollywood? Like, I had a friend that used to tell me he had a friend that was a camera guy. I would bother that guy once a month. And now, in hindsight, the camera guy probably got the call and said, what am I going to do for him? What the fuck can I do for him? He's got to come out, he's got to take an acting class, this process,
No, it is a process. I remember when I came to LA, and I had done a little bit of comedy in Colorado, and I was a stripper, and I had went to go do at the Comedy Store an open mic night, and I wasn't 21, so they wouldn't let me in. And I was like, really? Get the fuck out of here. And they would let all the guys in that weren't 21, and they just were like, you don't really want to be a comedian. But the thing is, then I had to go back, I have to go back every 3 months. But I remember, you got to do whatever you have to do, even if people close the door.
When you're 20, you look at a goal or you look at an accomplishment, you say to yourself, fuck, it's going to take me this much to do it, or I'm not going to do it because it'd be too long for the process. And the process slips right fucking by you. And the process is what the gift is. It's not even, it's the journey. Like, I love all the times I slept in a car. If I could tell people how many times I slept in a car, or how many times you slept, like that story about Dennis Leary, when he walked in and you're in this fucking, think about your nice bed now. You know what I'm saying? You got a gorgeous fucking bed. It's got springs in it. You could rest a wine glass on it and jump up and down on it. Did you have that shit fucking 20 years ago? Did you ever dream? 20 years ago, we would sleep on a fucking, on a box if it was comfortable.
Right.
And now you're like, holy shit, I got a nice bed. And I can't sleep tonight. Fuck, you slept under that bridge, motherfucker.
Well, here's the thing. It's like when you do stuff like that, like stripping or petty crime and all that kind of stuff, like when you start coming out of it, like I always felt I had to hide that whole part of my past. But as you get older, you realize that's the most valuable part of you is everything that you've seen, why you did that, and what makes you make the next step. You know what I mean? Like, and I used to really walk around all the time and not share myself with people because I'd be so afraid they're going to find out that I was a stripper. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
that's
fucking
so
crazy.
Stupid, right?
It's really crazy that we had that conversation last week about when I kidnapped the guy. And it's so weird. I didn't know how to explain it to you. I was telling you outside that a lot of times I just talk, and then when I go home, I go, fuck, I should explain it a little better. Maybe she's thinking this of me or something. And it's so weird that moment I told you about when I was outside and I wanted to shoot him. Like, for 10 years, I had worked myself up to that. Like, I'm going to shoot somebody one day, like, just to get this over with. I'm going to shoot somebody for motherfucking the leg. Like, my big thing was when I'd be burglarizing a drug dealer and I'd get, like, an ounce, I'm like, someday we're going to get a fucking kilo. Like, those were my aspirations then. Right. Like, this is serious shit. Like, someday I'm going to fucking make $50,000 on a drug deal and I could be on Miami Vice or whatever the fuck mind fuck I had in my head,
It's clear that you're goal-oriented.
Yeah. But I remember that when I was outside and I had that gun in my hand, I had an option whether to go shoot those two guys or get in my car. That's the moment I had worked for all my fucking life. Right. And now it was there, and this wasn't what I wanted. I knew right there, that moment, that's not what I wanted. I don't want this life of double-crossing and robbing people. This has to end somewhere. And it either ends or it starts today. And that's what I really thought about. Like, that was the point. I said, fuck it. This is not what I want. You know what I'm saying?
I like the way you said that. It either ends or it starts today.
It's the truth. And that's at any point in your life. It either ends or it starts today. Your life starts every fucking morning when you wake up, if you really look at it, because you can change everything. You did it. Yeah. You woke up. The guy clocked you on a Tuesday, Wednesday morning. You were like, chitty chitty bang bang. You had your fucking bags packed on the next bus out to whatever fucking hellhole, and you did it with pride and whatever. Every day, it either starts or it begins, bro. That's what's beautiful about this life. That every time the sun shines, you got a whole new fucking slate. I was talking about Pink Floyd. As a matter of fact, hopefully on Monday I'm gonna go with the boys. We got the acid. Yeah? We got the acid. My buddy got us some acid.
Do acid?
Yeah, he got us 10 hits. Ari. What? So yeah, a couple of us. We're gonna dip. We're going down on the train. Fuck yeah, old school. What? I might not even be able to do the podcast. I might snap like Sid Barrett after fucking Pink Floyd and come in here fucking mumbling and stumbling.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I'm going for it 30 years later. Why not?
Wow.
But it's so weird because when my mother died, so many things were happening that I never really got to mourn it. Is that what the word is? Process it?
Yeah.
And one of the main reasons was because she died. Next thing you know, Pink Floyd released this album, The Wall. And every day I was so infatuated with the wall, but on that wall album, she's got a song called Mother.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that song, Mother, do you think? And I listened to that the other day because I'm counting down the Pink Floyd, bitch. I've been listening to Pink Floyd every day. I opened up with Shine You Crazy Diamond. I can hear Terry this morning, shut that shit down. Fuck that, bitch. This is the countdown to Floyd. There's a process. This is not going to a concert with some buddies in a beach ball. First of all, I don't want nobody there I don't get along with. I don't want nobody there and I even have a little bit of dislike for, I've had doubts for. The only gorillas that are going with me, that's it. Like, you would be able to go because you're a cool motherfucker and I would giggle just watching you. Once they crash the plane against the wall and all that shit, you know? But it's so weird how when you have like a death or something, like people mourn in different ways, you know? And I just realized this last week when I was listening to The Wall, like the Wall took me in so much that I forgot all about my fucking mom. I didn't mourn my mom till like 85, and she died in 79. That's when I really felt it. She's gone. I'm never going to see this bitch again.
Right.
You know, but it's so funny how I tell you stories about her hitting me or something. You look at me, and now I realize why she hit me. It's because I used to drive her crazy. Like that story.
I know.
When I told her about I went to this restaurant. I was really skinny, and my mom would always say, you got to drink milk. You know, and I don't mind a glass of milk with Quick. You know, strawberry Quick or chocolate Quick, but that milk straight is fucking horrid. It's horrid. I tasted it again the other day. My cereal milk is horrible.
Yeah, you just don't like milk.
I don't like it. And one day I'm like, I want milk, and then they brought milk, but it was the wrong Quick. It was fudge. I don't want fucking fudge. I want Quick, and there was no Quick. I go, how about a milkshake? And the guy didn't. It was like a fancy restaurant. The guy didn't have a blender.
Yeah.
You know, so they're like, how about we just put the vanilla ice cream on top of the milk? So when the milk came, I could still taste the milk. It was just vanilla on top of the fucking ice cream. And they put like a little vanilla extract in it, which made it taste worse. And I'm like, I'm not drinking this. My mom's like, you fucking ordered it. You better drink it. I'm like, I'm not drinking it. And there's this restaurant with all Republicans. Everybody has suits and bow ties on. My mom took this fucking glass and poured it over my head.
Yes.
I'll never forget sitting there with the ice cream melting on my head. And you looked at me like, boy, your mother was hardcore. No, Felicia. I drove my mother fucking crazy.
No, I know. But here's the thing. That's what you perceive of me, because let me tell you, as a mom, sometimes you just lose your shit. You know?
Oh, you have to lose your shit.
Know, like, we're not perfect people. Joey just came over and my youngest was acting up because he's a handful sometimes in the most delicious way. But it's just like, dude, really? You know? You
have beautiful boys. Beautiful boys with potential.
Kids.
You're not like my cat. I got a cat that's half gay, and I have doubts about him. Not that he's half gay, he's effeminate. You know what I'm saying? Like the girls beat him up, and I always think about, what was that? What if that was my son? What if I had a son and he was effeminate? What the fuck would I do? He's not effeminate. He's just scared. Like, he hates noises. The girls beat him up. Sissy beats him up. Today I had to get fucking Harry off him. You know, and he cries. Like, he makes this noise. Like, and I love this cat. I can't say he's my favorite cat because I love them all, but he's up there, you know? I don't know what to do. What if your son is like, he comes home crying because the other kids chase him? In Cuba, they take you shark hunting.
They take you what?
Oh, when boys ain't right, when you're young in Cuba, they take you shark hunting.
No.
Yes, they did.
No.
Yes, they did. They take
Really?
you shark hunting.
Really?
And they kick you off the fucking boat, bro. Those people, those Abaquac Cubans will take your ass shark hunting. You see that hammerhead shark?
Really?
Bring home another doll again, motherfucker. We're going to feed your ass to the sharks. You can't do that now, you know what I'm saying? So all week I've been playing with this fucking cat, making him lift weights, drink milk. I look at your two boys, and your two boys have none of that in them. Like, there's no doubts that those two guys are going to be slinging big dick. But they also have that look like they're going to rock the house a little bit. Because one of them is just extremely fucking handsome. Extremely, like Benjamin Bratt type looking motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And the other one's really handsome, too. He looks like Ted Nugent after the explosion. You follow me with his hair and shit. But you can see both of them. And the little one is thick. Yeah. You know, he's got a little body to him, like he's going to be a wrestler or something. So I could see it already.
Yeah, I know.
And there's always, and it's a yin and yang. But these two brothers they could be like the Lozon brothers in the UFC or the Miller brothers. That'd be great to have. Two boys that are fucking savages. You know what I'm saying? Go watch them play football, throwing people off the field. I love it.
Well, hopefully.
All I'm saying is your sons are not going to play tennis, and they're not going to be in the fucking band.
They're not going to be in the band?
Like the band, the school band with the trombones. No. They're going to be in a band playing music, having chicks lick their nuts and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Look at Felicia's face. Look at Felicia's face.
This is the first time I'm really uncomfortable.
Shit. Maybe someday your little boy will burn a hooker's wig. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm sure he better not, because I'll teach him the value of a fucking wig. That's why. That'll be the difference. You know what I mean?
If you have any emails, any suggestions for this crazy podcast today, email us. Hit it, Felicia.
Could you please email us at beautyandthebeastpodcast@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you. All your music, or your movies, any problems you may have, anything you want us to talk about. We're here for you, man. That's what the beauty of our podcast is. We're here for you.
Yeah, and we did have a little tiny glitch last week. We've been changing over our RSS server, so sorry for that. My bad.
I know you couldn't live without that. No, it wasn't Felicia's bad.
Yeah.
We just didn't know we were getting ourselves in. You know, the podcast society is all brand new.
Yeah,
We're all
yeah.
learning by bumps and bruises and stuff. And I'm happy you guys are growing with us, and that's another good week with numbers. So they're taking the ride with us. And
Right, and it's because we're growing that we had to change.
And I'm happy that you guys believe in us that much, that you're going to grow with us. We're going to all be there together. We're going to put you in the fucking band. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing.
You all are the fifth Beatle.
Don't forget, December 8th at the Brea Improv, the extravaganza, Beauty and the Beast Christmas fucking blowout, a.k.a. the Titmas party.
That's awesome, Joey.
Bring those tits out, shake those
The
motherfuckers.
Titmas party.
Felicia might even take one of her tits out and show you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. But maybe.
But maybe, you never know. Put 1 or 2 whiskeys, God knows what the fuck happens. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so thank you. And come out to that for sure. That'll be a lot
Please,
of
we're
fun.
going to have a lot of fun. We got some
What's
great
the number
comedians.
where they can get a reservation?
714-482-0700. Those are the digits. And also for next year, we're going to take this show on the road to a couple of our favorite towns. We're going to surprise
Yes.
you with some dates coming up
Yes.
soon.
Yeah,
And that's
it's
it.
gonna
That's
be
happening
a
here.
lot of fun.
I used to shoplift early.
Every Friday was Black Friday for you.
Yeah, you got to shoplift early. You know, that's so
Right.
weird that I was telling somebody
I
how.
shoplift 30.
Oh my God! How when I got divorced, I went back to New York, and it was just a real struggle. It was like '93, and I was trying to do comedy, and I had to bring people, and I had a weird job in the daytime. And then I said, "Fuck it!" I missed Colorado, and I didn't want to be in that situation in New York no more. So I went back to Colorado, and I tried to sell cars at 104th and Thornton, and I did it for like 60 days, and I couldn't do it no more. I just wanted to do comedy. And there's that point in between comedy and life that you're like, fuck it, you know. I just really want to do comedy and focus on comedy, even though I have 20% going on. Like I got a gig November 11th for $250, but it's July, you know. And and I wash cars at a rental car place, and I delivered pizza with the rental car. I would borrow a rental car. I became friends with the guy, and he would let me deliver pizza on the weekends. I had a million hustles. But the number one hustle I had, it wasn't drugs or anything at the time. There was a bunch of malls in Boulder. And I remember Rogan moved to Boulder, and he came back. He went to see it before he moved, and he came back, and we were on a plane or something. And he goes, I went to Boulder, and I looked at that place. You were like a fucking kid in a candy store there, weren't you? And I go, you know, and I thought about what he said, and I was thinking about this weekend, how from this time of the year till February 15th, like for 2 years in a row, I made my living from walking into May D&F, Macy's, and I wouldn't shoplift, Felicia. I would go to like the department where they have the quilts and shit, like $249, and I just pick it up and walk it back to returns and say, my mom bought me this fucking quilt and I don't have the receipt for Christmas, and they'd say, okay, do the paperwork, and I'd sign a piece of paper and they'd give me $250 plus tax.
Right.
And this was just amazing. Never mind, and that was like a week leading up to Christmas. Once Christmas, like everybody was waiting to open up their gifts on Christmas Eve, I was just waiting for Christmas to pass so I go back and return the shit I didn't steal.
Right.
And you think I'm kidding you? Like I remember one Friday going out and doing like $2,000 worth of returns and going to see somebody at the Comedy Works that Friday night with a date. And I smoked a joint and I got so high that I took the money out to show off, and I counted the money out to get in, but I put the mound on the counter and walked to my seat and left the $2,000 on the thing, and somebody scooped it up. I swear to God. but I was making that much money just returning shit.
Yeah.
And I did that from the 26th to Valentine's Day.
Right.
And then I started getting cocky. Like, I couldn't even go to the Kmarts and the Walmarts and the shit in my neighborhood. I had to go on the road.
Right.
You know, I had to take my show on the road. So I would go to Arvada and you know, all these fucked up neighborhoods. And I would go to Loveland, Colorado. Like, I would make like a day of it. Like, today we're going to Loveland. We got to start early before, you know what I'm saying? I go, and coffee pots. That's when coffee machines were big.
Right.
Espresso machines. I was bringing back an espresso machine. One a day was $2.50. I mean, and I remember sitting there going, I should go to 60 Minutes and go to these corporations and explain to them how they're losing money just by idiots. Felicia, I wasn't even walking out of the store. I would go from the thing straight to returns. And it was like, and then the thing that killed me was they wouldn't even give you the $2.50 back. They'd give you back the tax.
Oh, right.
Like, here's $18 tax. Like, I thought it was $2.59. We're giving you back $2.87. Holy shit! You even gave me back the tax for being a shoplifter.
Wow.
But it's so weird. Like, I wouldn't even consider doing that.
So was this your sole idea, or you had learned this kind of
this was
petty
just
crime from somebody else?
This was a petty crime I learned, and I remember, like, I bear my heart on this thing. I remember, like, one of the last Christmases I had with my daughter, like one of the last Christmases. It was Christmas of '94. She's not dead. We just haven't talked to her about 10 years. But this was one of the last Christmases we had. I was a starving comic, like just broke ass. I had enough money to pay for my apartment, to do a little bit of blow, to smoke a little bit of weed, and that was it. I had a bench for my table. I had a TV. I had a little couch that I bought at a yard sale. I had a great bed, but that was it. You know, I never cooked in that kitchen. I lived in that kitchen from December of '94 to like June of '96, and I never turned the stove on in that kitchen. All that was in that refrigerator was water and fucking alcohol. Like, whenever I came down. And I remember that one Christmas I was so broke. I had just paid rent like on the 20th. And on the 24th, I always tell it. I was telling this story the other day. That on the 24th, I went to Toys R Us, and I walked in and took a bike and brought it back. And they gave me like $300 in Mickey Mouse dollars, those Disney, whatever,
right.
Jeffrey dollars. And I remember that I would go I would go in, buy, and then go in and return something else. And I had like 2,000 of these Jeffrey dollars, and I got her a bike. I got her everything she wanted on this list. And I remember bringing her, I even got like the decorations, but when I got home, I had no tape for the garland, so I had to hang it with duct tape. So here's this beautiful garland. I was decorating it for my daughter with this duct tape overneath it, but it gets worse. I got no fucking Christmas tree. Out of all the Jeffrey dollars and the mishandling, because if it's under $20, they'll just give you cash back. So I had like $80 maybe in cash back, so I bought a little food and cookies, and I had like a cassette player, so I bought like some ambiance Christmas music. This is the worst ever. And I go, I gotta go get a tree. And I had like $40 at this time, and I hadn't even eaten. And I remember I had this fucked up car. It was my friend's delivery car from the deli zone. And I went to Kmart, and Kmart was closed. And they had a sign on the fucking thing, and it said, we're closed on Christmas Day, but if you see a tree, leave the money in the thing. And I remember looking in the thing, and there was like $200 in cash and a bunch of checks. I took all the cash and a Christmas tree, right? Listen to me. I took a Christmas tree, and it was a beautiful Christmas tree, like the one Henry Hill had in Goodfellas. It was white. Right. It was too big for my apartment. Here I'm living in this Rocky Balboa apartment. I got like this $2,000 white Christmas tree with a couple bells on it. It's all tilted. I had to hold it with rope and shit. It was like I had leftover ropes from tying off. I used to tie this chick up. I had leftover rope, and I used that to tie the tree. But the Christmas was so sweet and so emotional. Like, you know, thinking about it in hindsight, it was so much filled with love, even though I was so broke. And I had done those things to make the Christmas nice for her. Like, that was the last good Christmas I had with my daughter. She's probably about 5 or 6. But it was so weird. Like, 3 months later, before I moved, I left Colorado like 5 months later to go on the road. And I went back. The guy had that year-round. Like, in the winter, he'd sell trees. In the summer, he'd sell lawnmower stuff. And I went back one day, and I go, hey, I came in here one day, and I remember it was one of the hardest things I did, but my karma was so bad. Like, in my Catholic little perverted mind, this is the day Jesus was born. How can you steal on the day Jesus was born? The day before he was born, fuck it. Do what you got to do. The day after he was born, you do what you got to do. And I went back like 4 months later and gave the guy the $225 cash.
Oh, you did?
And he looked at me like I never even knew it was missing. He goes, but it was weird because usually some idiot leaves cash in there. You know? He goes, like, seriously. And I'll never forget, I gave him the money. He was like, hey, just write it off. You know, I don't want to know nothing. Thank you. And that was it. That's the end of that. That was a horrible Christmas that in a way was very sweet in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I shoplifted not shoplifted. Again, I didn't walk out of the store. So every toy, that apartment was covered with toys. I remember sitting there going, if she only knew, this little girl, that every fucking toy in this room was robbed.
Right.
Like, what would she had a bike with a helmet. And
she would have still opened them Joey Diaz.
It's amazing the little fucking
happy.
things. It's amazing the things you realize, as you get older. Like Christmases that you thought were shitty. And, I was just driving over here and I seen a homeless guy. And ever since you told me about your family with your brother, it's given me a little bit more alertness to homeless. Because I've been homeless, but in a different way.
Right.
People are homeless, but in different ways, but never. Like sometimes at night to fall asleep, I like it really cold. And in my mind, I make believe like I'm a homeless guy sleeping on the Laurel Canyon Bridge, you know what I'm saying, waiting for an Armenian to come and kick me. When I fall asleep and I wake up and I got my cat next to me and my wife.
Whatever you need to do to fall asleep,
Fall
Joey.
asleep. But it's so weird, the plight of the homeless.
Yeah.
Like to watch them around. Like it's cold right now in Southern California.
Cold.
It's fucking cold.
Us, yeah.
It's not Canada cold, or I don't know how cold it is in Australia down under, but I know it's not Canada cold, but it's cold, and to live outside. So you made me more aware of the homeless situation. Let me explain something to you. I got over here, and Felicia tricked me or something. I don't know what happened. I found the blunt on the floor. And I smoked it. I blew some shotguns in her face. And this podcast is going to be all backwards, but fuck it, run with us. You know what I'm saying? It's like playing Sergeant Pepper's backwards. It's going to work eventually. You know what I'm saying? Either you like it or you might go stab your aunt in the living room in the neck. What's up with you, Felicia? Tell me something fucking good.
Weekend.
Tell me something good, dog.
No, when you were telling the story about your daughter, I was really, you are a tremendous storyteller, because I was really imagining it in my mind and thinking, wow, what she must have thought when she walked in there and saw all that stuff. She must have been so excited, little girl that happy. Like, I remember when things like that would happen when I was a kid, like when my parents got divorced. Did I tell you the story about when my mom's from Berlin, Germany. My dad married my mom, tried to stay over there, right, as much as he could because he was in the military. And so one time when my parents got divorced, we were over there. And so he said, since I brought, the kids over as my dependent, I have to take them back. And meanwhile, he had remarried and so all this stuff. And so he goes, I know you have a lot of weight of things you own because everyone goes back and forth when you're in the military. Since I have a higher rank, let me ship some of your stuff because I have room. So my mom let him ship like so much of her stuff. And then I had to come with my dad and live in California, Fort Ord, for about 6 months. And then my mom married another GI and came and got me. And they took all her stuff because my dad had to put it all in boxes and stuff. And they put it in the U-Haul. And I was so happy to see my mom. And we left. And then in the middle of Utah, going on a dirt road or something, the U-Haul broke open and all the boxes fell out. And so my mom and stepfather and I, we, the car over, and then we run in the back, and my mom starts looking in the boxes, and there's nothing in the boxes but, like, rocks and newspaper. My dad had totally stuffed the boxes and took all their stuff, right? And so, isn't that a crazy story?
That is fucking nuts.
I know. But you know what? I had to, even as a child, admire it. But I remember... Then my mom and her new husband were stationed in Fort Carson, and we went to Fort Carson the same trip. They brought me there, and we got there at like 2 a.m, and they bring me into this room, and in the room is nothing but like packing boxes, and it's really little, and there's like a cot, and my mom's like, this is going to be your room. And I was just so happy, honestly, Joey, that I got to be with my mom. Like, it was like, yay, right? And then she goes, no, just kidding. And she went to this other room, and she opens it up. And it's the coolest little girl room on the planet. Like, there's a little furniture set. There's, like, a matching bed and canopy. And, like, it's crazy, right? Everything a little girl could want. And I just remember that story when you told me about your daughter and making it all pretty with the stolen Christmas tree and with the garland with the duct tape. And that's what I was saying. Like, it must have been such a huge memory for her to come in and have seen this. Like, she's going to remember that the rest of her life, because that's a fond memory, even of my dad doing that shitty thing. To me, it's a fond memory. You know what I mean?
That's amazing that you would remember that. That's a very... And also in that apartment when she came over that week, in my bathroom, I had a nice bathroom, but there was a hole in the wall. Like, I had put my hand on the wall one night where the towel holder was, and there was a hole. So for a year, I would throw away all my empty cocaine packages in this hole. Right?
I like that my nice, warm, fuzzy story leads into us where you would stash your cocaine
Again, I never even remembered this till now. And I would throw these things, and after about 8 months one night, I'm like, how much cocaine did I throw in that wall by mistake? So it was like Christmas Eve, I'm out of coke. I ripped the fucking wall off. There was 1,000 of those bindles behind the wall. I must have opened all of them and licked them. Some of them had already been licked. They had cocaine mold on it and shit. So she came over, and this wall was ripped, and she's like, oh, it's so nice, but what happened to your wall? And I'm like, nothing. You wouldn't understand, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that apartment, I think about that apartment now. And it was an apartment where I learned so much, but I was so alone. It was the Rocky apartment. I was so in pain in there. It was my own little world of pain. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we were outside smoking cigarettes, swapping a couple stories around, and so tell us when you stopped returning things illegally.
Like doing that stuff. I mean, that thing I was doing, I did that for about 3 years, and it was amazing. I had a Cuban couple that were friends of mine, and they got in on it. And it was like we'd both go out in the daytime, and there was times like they'd see me and go, bro, we did a computer like you told us. Here's $300. We got $800 for it. I mean, it was crazy, and they had a kid. And they would leave the kid in the car. I mean, this was crazy. We had like a little ring, and I would ask them where they went today. Did you go to May DNF? Did you go here? Because I'm like, I can't. Fuck. You went there, now I can't go. I got to go to Loveland, or I got to go to whatever.
Right.
So then I became it was amazing the shit I had in my head. And I started doing comedy on the road, and I worked with this guy, David Tribble, who books the Pacific Northwest from Colorado,
Yes.
Northwest, and every comedian has worked for him. When you do his clubs, they start whipping out pictures of Tom Arnold and Roseanne and Felicia,
potato run. Yeah,
the potato runs, and this whole thing. And I did this 3-weeker where you do these 3-week runs, and the 2 weeks were this Idaho run. One is a potato run 2, and one is a potato run 1. And 1 and 2.
So the tours are potato 1 and what?
Potato Run 1 and 2. In those days, he had 2. But two of the tours had this really weird thing. On a Wednesday night, the one tour had comedy in this one bar. And on the next tour, they had comedy on Thursday across the street, at the bar right across the street from it. So it was you were at the same town. I forget what it was, something Idaho, Snake River, Idaho, one of those towns. And that's how it was, the Triple Run. So 1 week you'd be there. Then the next week, you'd be right back there across the street.
Right.
So the first week, I go to the one thing, and I'm there, and I do comedy, and I bombed. I was always bombing on those things. They fucking hated me. I was a New Yorker in Idaho. They're Mormons. I'm up there saying fuck and whatnot, and they're hating me. So after the show, one of the guys heckles me. But during the show, and I heckle him back, and we get into it on stage, and I didn't really know how to turn the heckler. Then I got angry, and I was frustrated, and words became whatever. So boom. It's over, right? No big fucking deal.
So what is the no deal that happened? Did you get in a fight? You didn't get in a fight.
I got into an argument with the kid, and
Right.
they asked him to stand on the other side of the room. I got off stage. I had a few drinks. I went to my hotel. I never remembered about it at all. I never
Right.
even thought about it at all. So the next week, I'm back in that same city, but only Thursday at the club across the street. So by Thursday, you get sick and tired of eating veggie and fucking cheese sandwiches from Subway. I mean, that's all you could afford. He gives you $50 a night between the gas and a calling card and a sandwich or two and a bag of weed and 2 drinks. You're busted. He pays you $125 a night, but he pays you $75 and he sends you $50 in the mail 2 weeks later. So you're living off $75. So you're really eating Subway like a motherfucker. You know, this is 1995, 1996. I'm eating Subway 2 weeks in a row. So now comes one day I go, fuck Subway. I'm going to go get myself, I see a Kmart and I go, voila. I'm going to go do a return and eat like a doctor. I'm going to go get a steak and this whole fucking thing. So, boom, I go into the store and I pick up a tent. And here I am in Idaho. I'm a big shot in New York. I robbed this. I did this. I go in and I bring the tent and I bring it up and they're like, they start giving me a hard time. Can we see your ID? And we don't know if we can give you the money back. We have to call the local police department. You don't live around here. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh shit, they're on to me. You know, and I'm like,
really?
They had put like a bulletin out there onto this shit, you know, people returning. And all of a sudden, like, well, we have a choice for you. And all of a sudden, the security guy came on. He's like, we have a choice for you. We have you on camera picking up the thing, or we could call the police. So do you want your money back? We'll give you your money back. We'll call the police. So I said, fuck it. Let's leave it at that.
Right.
So they busted me pretty much.
Right.
I walk out of Kmart, and I'm heartbroken. My $249 tent went down back to Subway, but fuck it, I was splurging. So I go over to the Chinese place, Panda. Fuck it, tonight I'll drive, I won't drink tonight, I won't eat a bag of chips. There's something out of my budget that'll be cut, but I'm eating rice. And so I sit down with my fucking Chinese food. I take 3 bites into it, Felicia, and what do you think happens? The fucking dickhead from the bar last week comes up to me at this place in a food court in this Idaho thing.
Right.
And I'm sitting and I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, hey, motherfucking Yankee, now me and my buddies got you. What are you going to do now? And I'm like, guys, are you fucking serious? And they're like, nah, what do we got you? And I'm eating. But the egg roll was there.
Right.
Like it was half egg roll. You bite into it, it's right there. And I had my dish. And I go, you motherfuckers want to fight? Is this what it comes down to? Let's go outside. And I get up and I look at the tray and I take the tray. And the one that wanted to fight me, I hit him in the head with the tray, with the food. The egg roll hits him in the face. It was classic. He goes down. The other 2 muscle-bound buddies from me hitting him with the tray, they start running.
Oh, really?
Oh, they took off like fucking little faggots. I'm like, come on, cocksucker. They both start running. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to say the word faggot on the podcast. They ran away like 2 scary cats, right? And so I get up, the kid's on the floor wiping egg roll and mustard off his face. And I get up, I'm walking to the car, and as I get to the car, the cops get me, and they go, we got you for the shoplifting and for the assault. But they put me in jail in Boise, whatever, Snake River. And I go to jail. This is 2 PM, so I sit in jail until Tribble bails me out.
Oh, no.
At 5 to 9, I get bailed out by Tribble, and I go right from the jail cell, right from the stage. You know what I'm saying? That's a real comedian, bitches. From the jail cell to the stage. You follow me? And Tribble asked me what happened. I told him it was a fight. And
That's awesome.
And I had to work for free for the whole fucking week. And then I had to go back to court. I never went. So right now, today, I have a misdemeanor shoplifting up in Snake River, Idaho. So if you got a show in Idaho, I can't do it. I'm telling you right now, I can't do it.
Oh my God, that is so funny. The club owner bailing you out 5 minutes before 9.
Can you fucking believe this shit?
That's such a fucking club
And
owner.
the comedian that was the headliner, I forget what his name was, but I seen him about 10 days ago at an audition. And till this day, every time he sees me, like I see him every 4 years, he comes up to me and goes, you been shoplifting lately?
Oh my God, that is awesome.
I love you cocksuckers. From Australia to Manchester to Berlin to all around the States. Listen, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have this podcast. And if it wasn't for Felicia putting this shit together every week, we wouldn't be here. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, man.
And I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving.
All right. Stay black, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Oh, we didn't give him a kiss.
Thank you.